everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Parts of Articulation. My name's Dave, and it's day 6 of Micro Machine March 2. So today we're looking at the Star Wars Micro Machine Super Star Destroyer, the Hasbro version. Now, the Imperial Super Star Destroyer was first seen in Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Now, last year I reviewed the Galoob version of the Super Star Destroyer, and if you want to see that review, I'll put a link in the description below. But at some point in this review, I will have the two ships together to show you how they compare and contrast. And to date, the Imperial Super Star Destroyer remains one of my favorite giant starships ever made. I love the shape, I love the design. And is it practical? Absolutely not. But the thing is, the Empire built it for two reasons. One, because they could. They had tons of resources. And also, they built it to strike fear in their enemies. This thing is gigantic. It's full of firepower, fighters, bombers, interceptors, everything it needs to take whatever down. And speaking of down, if you want to downscale and buy this little model, it is about 3 inches long, which is pretty nice for a Micro Machines. And if you're looking for this ship, you can find it in the Space Escape set by Hasbro, and it's pretty good. So we do have a lot to cover today. We're going to look at the mold, the paint, put on a stand compared to some other ships, and then we'll be done, so let's get moving! Alright, kicking this review off looking at the mold, I must say Hasbro did a pretty decent job with this. Is it 100% accurate? No. But the thing is, they tried, they really did, and you gotta give them credit for that. So anywho, let's start on the bottom. We have our landing bay, and look at all that great detail. Fantastic stuff here. Just amazing. We'll get a close-up of all this in a couple. And then over here we have our lines and modules for all the armor. Copyright crap, peg hole. And check out the engines. Talk about a lot to look at. Holy crap. Just an amazing amount of stuff. It really is. And then coming up to the top of the vessel, we have our armor plating going around the side, and we can see all those nice lines, modules, and stuff like that. And then my favorite part, the city section. And just look at all that stuff. That is great. And if you turn it this way, you can see they're all different sizes. I really like that a lot. Now for the command tower, it's sort of lacking, but you could tell what it is. Should have 2 little balls on the top there, but it just has vague representations of what they should be. But just when you think that's everything, they actually have detail on the sides. And I'll get a close-up for that because it's hard to make out. So let's get a close-up of this ship, and then we'll move on to paint. Alright, here I am, super magnified here. And you can see again, the city section is amazing. All these lines coming around here. And then for the sides, you can see very basic rectangles and squares and shapes. That's pretty awesome. And that's the same on this side as well. Now for the underneath of the ship, look at all that. That is great. And then of course the engines. Wish they were painted, but what are you going to do? But a fantastic job there. Really, all these different layers right here. Just great stuff. Might be a little too fat, but what are you going to do? This is a great looking vessel. So, now that we're done looking at the mold, let's take a look at the paint. Alright, when it comes to the paint of the Super Star Destroyer, there is only 2 colors. The first is a nice dark gray for the city section and control tower. And it's actually painted pretty good until you get here. It's a little run off there, but not too bad. You know, it's a Micro Machine. What are you going to do? I think it came out pretty decent. And that is it. The rest is a nice molded gray. I would have loved to see some red on the engines, but it is what it is, I guess. So that does it for the mold of the paint. So let's put this bad boy on the stand, compare it, and then we'll be done for today. Now, the newer Hasbro Micro Machines don't come with a stand, but they are compatible with the original Galoob translucent ones. So just plug it in the port like so, and you're good to go. So now for a quick size comparison with the Star Wars Micro Machine SSD by Hasbro. I have it next to the original Galoob version SSD. And great ships right here. I think I prefer the original one, but we'll get to that. And then over here we have the original Galoob X-Wing Starfighter. Great ships all around. Alright, I don't want to spend too much time on a comparison between the two, but here's the Galoob version. And you can see it's a little bigger than Hasbro's over here. But what do you guys think? Which one do you prefer? My honest opinion, I prefer the original. I think it's much more film accurate. As we can see, it's very thin. The newer version, even though it has more detail, is a little fat right here, and you can see the engines popping out more. And the quality, just look at this, straight. This is 20-something years old. This one, it's already warping. I only had it for maybe a year and a half, 2 years. But, I don't know. What do you guys think? Which one do you prefer more? The Galoob version or Hasbro? Let me know in the comments below. And that does it today for my review of the Star Wars Micro Machines Super Star Destroyer from Hasbro. Again, this ship was first seen in The Empire Strikes Back, and this little model comes in at 3 inches long, which is pretty good. Okay, so I'll try and wrap this up real quick. What do I like and dislike about this vehicle? First of all, the mold is amazing. It's a little too thick for me, but my god, I gotta give Hasbro credit. The amount of detail on here is mind-boggling how they got it. From the city to the underbelly, it's awesome. It really is, and I really mean that. Now, for the cons, of course, the paint. Oh my god, they dropped the ball with this. The engines are not painted. There's no weathering. There's nothing. The only color you get is dark gray on top of the molded body, which is a shame. Now, another con, they do not give you a stand. I wish they sold like a box full of them, but they don't. So you either got to make your own, or you got to cannibalize an older stand that you're not using from the Galoob days, and it does fit, as you can see. Now, if you're looking to buy this, I would recommend going on the internet and looking for the Space Escape set. Comes with a bunch of little ships as well, and it's pretty good. So I recommend this ship for anybody who's a fan of the Executor, the Empire Strikes Back, or the Empire in general. It is a nice looking ship. So that's everything I have to say about this ship today. I hope you enjoyed my review. If you did, hit that like button. And if you'd like to see new reviews every Thursday, subscribe. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.